child and last night.
Hello, Ghostpoet.
Hello.
Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm not too bad at all.
That is nice to hear. Now, I know you've been asked this quite a bit already. It almost seems traditional to do so. And never being one to defy tradition, I'm going to ask you it again.
Okay.
Ghostpoet, why this musical guise? What is the story behind the name?
Well, the name kind of came about, firstly, I guess the ghost part of it came about from not having a kind of interest in ghosts, partly because when I was younger, I was very much, not obviously ghost-like, but in that it had characteristics of a ghost in the sense of being in one place and being happy in my own company, so to speak. And the poet kind of came about because I wanted to differentiate myself from the rap world, the hip hop world in a sense, and at the same time I'm not into poetry, so it was kind of like it didn't quite make sense, but made sense to me. So
that's the bit that got me, because I reckon I didn't have, when I first heard the name, I thought it was cool. I didn't question it at all. I just thought it was cool. But then I read exactly what you've just said to me. I read that you don't actually like poetry, and that's what baffled me a little bit. I mean, what next? Is Meatloaf a vegetarian? Is Lady Gaga a man?
I like poetry, but it's never been like a number one love. It didn't, fuel the name in any way.
It's not what inspired you to do what you do.
No.
You see, I have done my research.
Okay.
I knew that you didn't like poetry.
Oh, nice.
When I say I've done my research, I've read Wikipedia. And I also saw something somewhere, that's as specific as I can get, that describes you as a 21st century Gil Scott-Heron. Now, assuming that's just a musical comparison, then you're on to a winner there. Does that mean something to you, hearing people say those kind of things?
Yeah, it's great. Again, when I was growing up, I listened to his music. Like, not a massive fan, but to be compared to people like that it's a great honor, and I hope one day I can have a career as long as his.
If you're not a big fan of Gil Scott-Heron, who was it that got you inspired?
I guess people like indie bands, indie music, electronic music, people like Square Pusher, Aphex Twin, people like The Streets, Roots Maneuver, Ty, Skinny Man, mixture of people, dance, hip hop, indie, everything really.
Tell me about your thinkings on the internet now, because you do seem to have embraced it. You're a modern musician. You embraced the internet, and you even gave your EP, your debut EP, away as a free online download. Yeah,
I think it's important to embrace the technologies of the day. People nowadays, they hear music, but the instant straight away is to get on Google and search for the name of the person, find out what music they have, what can they download, when things start, gigs, blah blah blah. It's really important to embrace it, and that's what I'm trying to do as much as possible.
I think you're doing quite well with it.
Thank you.
Do you think you could do what you're doing now without the internet?
I think so, but it's a different type of, it's a different kettle of fish, really. I think people have done it, the history books tell you that. I think I prefer it this way, if I could say that. I think I like the way it is doing it this way, having the interaction via Twitter and Facebook and being able to instantly put things out to people and get instant reaction, I think is good for me.
As I mentioned, the EP was free, a free download online, but the album is not.
No.
Which is fair enough. I understand that decision there. How would you say the album follows on to the EP? Is it an evolution of the EP, or is it a completely standalone piece of work?
I would say it's a mixture of the two. I think it's an evolution from the EP in terms of sounds and vocally and subject matter, maybe. Yeah, it kind of stands alone as well because it's a different direction, so to speak, kind of more of a body of work, I guess.
And you actually produced the album as well?
Yeah.
So is that side of things important to you as well?
Yeah. It's I think for me, production kind of started from wanting to get beats from people, but the stuff I was getting wasn't quite what matched in my head. So it kind of started from putting down skeletons and stuff, skeletons of ideas, spines of ideas, and building from that really. And yeah, it's as important for me now as vocals, lyrics. Yeah.
Now let's talk about. I was going to talk about geography actually. Should we talk about geography?
Yeah, I like that at school.
Yeah, I didn't actually, but I like talking about it in interviews about music, and it just, mixes it up a little bit. Yeah. Because you're from the Big Smoke, London. Yeah. But you moved to the Big COV in the Best Midlands. My Manor. So you went there for uni?
Yeah. I went there for university when I was about 18. Ended up staying for about 6-7 years, and I came back to London literally about a year ago now.
So where did Ghostpoet start his musical life? Was it in Coventry or London?
Yeah, in Coventry, really. I guess I was into music when I was in London. and I kind of developed it more to a next stage in Coventry. But Ghostpoet musically, yeah, started in Coventry, I would say. Yeah, for me, Coventry, especially at that age, at 18, and the time I was there, it was kind of me growing as a man type stage, you know.
It's a wonderful place as well.
Yeah, man, it's wicked.
Could do with a few more Greg's bakeries. I mean,
Can't
we only
beat
had
Greg's.
4 on my street. There's plenty of other places to get yourself
Of
a
course.
steak bake. Back to the internet, because we know you love it.
Yeah.
What better subject to finish our interview on?
Okay.
It seems like, kind of as a modern musician, with the internet, you're far more likely to get addicted to an electronic substance as opposed to some of the more old school things you could get addicted to. They call it Twitter, don't they? Now, your profile's very interesting. Because when you're not tweeting about having a luminous wee or a donut for a brain, which I don't think is actually genetically or physically possible, is it?
I don't think so.
You seem to be talking about sleep.
Yeah.
Lack of, mostly.
Yes, I think so. I try to put in as much as possible of my daily life in it, really.
Long may these tweets of donuts for brains and a luminous wee continue.